Hi everyone, I'm Mark, and today I want to tell you about a place that has always fascinated and terrified me, Liminal Land. I've heard whispers about this abandoned amusement park from friends and locals, but the stories surrounding it are confusing and contradictory. Some say it was a magical place filled with glittering rides and laughter, while others murmur of eerie events and mysterious disappearances. There are no official records, an old man told me at the local diner. Yet those who went there never came back. Others speak of children laughing in the distance, followed by a deafening silence. Some claim the park was shut down after a tragic accident, but no one knows exactly what happened. Every time I ask for details, people lower their voices and change the subject. This aura of mystery compelled me to explore that place. I couldn't resist the urge to uncover what lay hidden among the ruins of Liminal Land. And so, one night, I decided to venture into the woods surrounding the park. What I would find there would change everything. As I stepped into the dense woods of New Mexico, a sense of unease washed over me. The moon hung high in the sky, casting eerie shadows that danced among the trees. My heart raced with anticipation and fear. I had read countless stories about Liminal Land, but nothing could prepare me for the reality of this place. The air was thick with silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant hoot of an owl. With each step deeper into the forest, I felt an inexplicable pull, as if the very ground beneath me was alive. I switched on my flashlight, its beam slicing through the darkness, revealing twisted branches and overgrown underbrush. The path was barely visible, swallowed by time and neglect. After what felt like hours, I finally stumbled upon the remnants of Liminal Land. The outline of a dilapidated entrance sign loomed ahead, half buried in dirt and weeds. My pulse quickened. This was it, the place where legends came to life. But as I approached, a chill ran down my spine. The air felt charged, almost electric, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. This night would be one I would never forget. As I stepped through the crumbling entrance of Liminal Land, a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The once vibrant park was now a shadow of its former self, its rides rusting and its buildings decaying. The air was thick with the scent of mold and decay, and the ground was littered with debris. I shone my flashlight around, trying to make sense of the scene before me. In the distance, I could see the outline of a roller coaster, its tracks twisting and turning like the bones of some ancient beast. I felt drawn to it, as if it held the key to the park's secrets. As I made my way towards the ride, I heard a sudden noise behind me. I whirled around, my heart pounding, to see an old man standing there. He was dressed in tattered clothes, his face weathered and lined. His eyes were sunken and haunted, and he stared at me with a mixture of fear and warning. "You shouldn't be here," he rasped, his voice barely above a whisper. "This place is cursed." I opened my mouth to respond, but before I could, he turned and disappeared into the shadows, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the eerie silence of Liminal Land. The old man's warning echoed in my mind as I hesitated at the entrance of the abandoned park. Ignoring my instincts, I pressed on, compelled by an overwhelming curiosity. The first attraction I encountered was the Ferris wheel. Its rusted metal frame loomed ominously against the night sky, creaking softly as if it were alive. As I walked closer, memories of laughter and joy flooded my thoughts, but they quickly turned dark. I could almost hear the distant screams of children who once rode this giant wheel, their voices swallowed by the shadows. I shone my flashlight into one of the gondolas, and a chill ran down my spine when I noticed something, a small, dusty teddy bear left behind. It was a haunting reminder of those who had vanished. Moving deeper into the park, I stumbled upon a funhouse, its warped mirrors reflecting distorted images of myself. Each reflection seemed to mock me, twisting my features into grotesque shapes. As I stepped inside, the air grew colder, and I felt an unsettling presence lurking just beyond my vision. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught my eye in one of the mirrors. My heart raced as I turned to confront whatever was watching me, but there was nothing. Only silence and the faint echo of laughter that seemed to come from nowhere. This place was not just abandoned. It was alive with memories and secrets that refused to stay buried. Panic surged through me as I stepped out of the funhouse, my heart pounding in my chest. The laughter I had heard moments before echoed in my mind, a haunting reminder that I was not alone in Liminal Land. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself, but the air felt thick with dread. I knew I had to keep moving. As I navigated through the park, shadows danced around me, and the trees seemed to whisper secrets. Suddenly, I heard a rustling sound behind me. My instincts kicked in, and I turned to face whatever was lurking in the darkness. My flashlight flickered, casting eerie shapes on the ground. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it, a figure darting between the trees. It was tall and thin, with elongated limbs that moved unnaturally. Fear gripped me as I realized it was coming closer. I spun around and ran, adrenaline coursing through my veins. I dashed past the remnants of carnival games and broken rides, my breath coming in ragged gasps. The sound of footsteps echoed behind me, growing louder with each passing moment. Desperate to escape, I sprinted toward the entrance, praying that I could reach safety before whatever was chasing me caught up. Just as I neared the exit, I stumbled over a fallen branch and fell hard to the ground. Panic clawed at my throat as I scrambled to my feet and bolted toward freedom. Would I make it out alive? The night was far from over, and Liminal Land had other plans for me. I burst through the entrance of Liminal Land, my heart racing and my lungs burning. The cool night air hit my face like a splash of cold water, but I didn't stop to catch my breath. I sprinted down the path, desperate to put as much distance between myself and that dark place as possible. The sounds of the park faded behind me, but the feeling of being watched lingered like a shadow. Back at my car, I fumbled with my keys, hands trembling as I unlocked the door and jumped inside. I slammed the door shut and locked it, as if that simple action could shield me from whatever horrors lurked in the park. My mind raced with questions. What had I seen? Who or what had been chasing me? The next morning, I awoke with a heavy sense of dread. I couldn't shake the feeling that Liminal Land had left its mark on me. Determined to uncover the truth, I began researching the park online. To my shock, I found nothing. No records, no articles, not even a mention of its existence. It was as if Liminal Land had been erased from reality. Confused and frustrated, I decided to return during the day. Surely there had to be something left behind, some clue that would explain what had happened. Little did I know that my quest for answers would lead me back into the depths of that cursed place. The sun hung high in the sky as I made my way back to Liminal Land, its warm rays doing little to ease the chill that lingered in my bones. Armed with a camera and a notebook, I felt a mix of determination and dread. I needed to document everything, to prove that this place existed and that I wasn't losing my mind. As I approached the entrance, I was struck by how different it looked in daylight. The vibrant colors of the past were gone, replaced by a bleak landscape of crumbling structures and overgrown weeds. The eerie silence was deafening, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched once again. I wandered through the park, snapping photos of the remnants of rides and attractions. But as I explored further, a growing sense of unease settled over me. The Ferris wheel stood motionless, its shadow stretching ominously across the ground. The funhouse, once a source of terror, now seemed like a forgotten relic. But there was nothing. No sign of life, no remnants of the laughter or screams I had heard the night before. It was as if Liminal Land had vanished entirely. Confused and frustrated, I turned to leave when something caught my eye, a flash of color peeking through the weeds. Curiosity piqued. I approached cautiously. What could it be? As I bent down to investigate, my heart raced with anticipation and fear. Little did I know that this discovery would lead me deeper into the park's dark history than I ever imagined. As I stared at the object in my hands, a sense of dread washed over me. It was a child's bracelet, its beads faded and worn. I could almost feel the weight of its history, the stories it held. But how could this be here, in a place that seemed to have been erased from existence? I turned the bracelet over and over, searching for answers that refused to come. Was this a sign that Liminal Land had truly been real? Or was it all just a twisted dream, a figment of my imagination? The more I thought about it, the more confused I became. I spent hours scouring the park, looking for any other clues that might shed light on the mystery. But the more I searched, the more elusive the answers became. The park was a ghost town, a place that time had forgotten. And yet, the bracelet in my hands was a tangible reminder that something had happened here, something dark and unsettling. As I made my way back to my car, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. I glanced over my shoulder, half expecting to see a figure lurking in the shadows. But there was nothing, just the eerie silence of Liminal Land. I drove home in a daze, my mind racing with questions and doubts. Was I going mad? Had I really experienced something paranormal? Or was it all just a twisted dream, a product of my own imagination? One thing was certain. Liminal Land had left its mark on me, and I would never be the same again. As I sat in my room, the child's bracelet lay on my desk, a constant reminder of my haunting experience at Liminal Land. The memories replayed in my mind like a broken record. The laughter, the shadows, the feeling of being watched. I couldn't shake the sense that I had crossed a threshold between reality and something far more sinister. Was it all just a dream? Or had I truly stumbled upon a place where the boundaries of existence blurred? The more I pondered, the more questions arose. I felt an unsettling connection to that park, as if it were calling me back for answers that might never come. If you've enjoyed this journey into the unknown and want to delve deeper into the mysteries of Liminal Land, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Gazing the Abyss. Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. What do you think really happened there? For those curious souls who wish to explore further, there's a link in the description that may shed light on this enigmatic tale. Remember, some stories linger at the edge of reality and fantasy, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover their secrets. Until next time, keep gazing into the abyss. And remember, the abyss is waiting for you.